really happy our next guest is going to be a regular with me here on CST Daily from ESPN. He's my guy, Jesse Rogers. Jesse and I worked together at the beginning of Jesse's career back in the 1990s. Man, I'm so proud of you, Jesse, and thanks for being part of the team here at CST Daily.
Good to be with you, Lou. I thought you were going to say we worked together at the beginning of time. Because
it feels like that.
That's kind of how long we've known each other.
It's been a long time, but man, you have done so well for yourself. Let's get into the Cubs because Cubs are off today before they open up a series with Tampa Bay out at Wrigley. Game 3 of the series with the Braves that took place last night. Let's specifically talk about that because it was the rubber match game, all right, on the road against one of the game's best pitchers, Chris Sale. Last night's 3-2 Cubs winner, in my opinion, man, that was a big deal for this team. What did you think?
No, I think it's a great point. It really kind of was a playoff game. You get a home run from catcher Carson Kelly, but then you eke out a couple more runs off one of the best lefties in the league in Chris Sale. Great at-bat by Justin Turner, of all people, who's going to be that kind of specialist, I believe, in the playoffs, where he will face some tough lefties. He drives in a run, a couple stolen bases against a pitcher that you can steal off of. So it's like a little bit of a playoff formula. Do some little things, get a big home run, and of course, do your job on the mound with Jameson Taillon and a bunch of guys that the bullpen did. I like how you gave that game importance because I feel like it is an October-esque kind of win in a game that you didn't think they necessarily would pull out because it's Sale versus Taillon, who's coming off the injured list. So a really nice victory in that series finale in Atlanta, for sure.
And Jesse, tell me the Cubs need a starter like Taillon to come through with the playoffs a little over 2 weeks away, right?
Well, I think Taillon's going to end up in the bullpen, to be honest. I mean, they've got Cade Horton, this fantastic rookie, Matthew Boyd, Shota Imanaga. So in any of the short series, I don't see Taillon getting a start. But in a longer series, in a best of 7, you usually want a fourth guy, and Taillon could be it. They're getting healthy on the mound, save for Daniel Palencia. But in that rotation, they're going to have some choices. Javier Saad's going to the bullpen. So it is possible the Cubs, at least pitching staff, will be peaking at the right time here if Palencia comes back and looks like his old self. And so they'll have some choices. I think Taillon's in the bullpen, though, to start the playoffs.
All right, well, we were told by manager Craig Counsell that he would know more about Daniel Palencia's injury and the timeline for his return on Friday. Today's Thursday. What are you hearing?
I'm hearing he'll be on pace to come off after a minimal stint, which is 15 days for a pitcher. Position player can be down for 10. Pitchers have to be out for 15. So he's still got a ways away before he returns, but I'm hearing good things. This guy needed a bit of a reset. He was sort of walking a fine line there until he blew up in that game where he blew the save and got hurt last weekend. So I think the reset's going to be good. I think hopefully he comes back with just enough time to shake off any rust. But the bottom line is, Lou, I'm hearing good things. It'll be a minimal stay. It's not structural damage. It's that shoulder inflammation that every pitcher has. He simply needed some time off after a very stressful first season as the Cubs closer.
That is such great news. 5 Cubs relievers did the job last night. I don't want to bring up the negative, but I'm going to bring up the negative. If he struggles when he comes back or isn't feeling right, do they need a closer for the playoffs?
Well, if he's not the guy, they will mix and match because Brad Keller is their best reliever, pound for pound. There is no doubt about it, Lou. Trust me when I say this. The Cubs have as much faith in Brad Keller as anyone on that staff, to be honest. And he will get the important outs. That's why you saw him pitch the 8th inning last night, because it was Acuna, it was the middle of the order guys, and then Kittredge got to 9th for the bottom of the order. Wherever the big moment is in a playoff game, you will see Brad Keller. That might be the 8th, that might be the 9th, might be the 7th. It might be a combination of the 7th, 8th, and 9th. You know, I think they're going to really ride him as much as they can, whether Palencia is there in the 9th or not. But for the moment, it is Palencia's job if he returns healthy. Because, again, I think Brad Keller is going to be pitching with guys on base in the 7th and come back and pitch the 8th. So Palencia will have his role. A few guys ahead of Keller will have their role. But Keller will be the sort of the the cog in the late innings there, the bridge, if you will, to Palencia, whoever does get the ninth.
All right, before we get into the offense, let me ask you one more question about the pitching staff. If the playoffs started tomorrow, Cade Horton starting game one, in your opinion?
I would. I've been a proponent of that for a couple weeks now. I've been sort of trending in that direction after every start, kind of look at his stuff, watch it again. It's as good as ever. It's crisp. It's sharp. It's elite. The moment's not too big. I would not overthink this. Pitch your best pitcher in game one and then go from there. I think he has the greatest ability, Lou, to throw a shutout, meaning 5 or 6 or 7 innings, not necessarily 9-inning shutout, but to have an appearance where he gives up no runs. He's got a better shot at that than Shota Imanaga or Matthew Boyd, in my opinion. And you're going to need that against the Padres because you cannot give the Padres a lead if that's who they play in the playoffs, because their bullpen is the best in the league. And if the Cubs are down even 2-0 in the 6th inning, that's a problem. Horton needs to match whoever's on the other mound with zeros, and hopefully the Cubs get to their starter, because that's the key. The early innings against the Padres will be important because both teams have shut down bullpens.
All right, I'm with you there. I agree 100%. Kyle Tucker's on the injured list. P. Crow Armstrong, just 1 home run since July 23rd. The guy's hitting less than his weight. He's hitting less than 200 since the start of August. And Seiya Suzuki has 1 home run and just 10 RBI since the middle of July, 2 months now. Who do you know will come back and play at a high level come the playoffs? And who do you worry most about?
I still worry actually about Seiya, to be honest. It's been an extended period of time here. It does seem when Tucker was going well, that's when Seiya was going well. They bat next to each other. So I kind of worry, where is Seiya's head right now? He's been in this caught in between thing for a while. Look, PCA is what he is right now. He's not very good against left-handed pitching. That is a problem, Lou. But he will still do some damage against righties. He'll do some damage with his legs on the base paths. He's had several multi-hit games against right-handed pitching. I think there's a moment in PCA. I don't know where Seiya is right now. This is a while, and he's a veteran. So I guess I have higher expectations out of Seiya because of how long he's been around, and he's in the middle of this lineup. But I still worry that PCA against left-handed pitching isn't going to get the job done.
All right, how's Kyle Tucker? When is he coming back?
Kyle Tucker is due back after the minimal 10-day stay at this point. I don't think it's going to be longer than that. I think he could have stayed in the lineup, but that didn't happen, and so they set him down. I think he's going to be around back in the lineup after the full 10 days.
I know that this has been discussed all season long, but, you know, I look at the injuries that Tucker has gone through this season, the time off that he's needed. I get that he's still the best Cubs hitter right now in this lineup, but he has obviously struggled at the plate. When you look at Kyle Tucker's numbers throughout his career, if the free agent to be Tucker was shooting for a $600 million contract, do you still think he gets it?
Probably not. Probably not. No, a big October can change things, Lou. But yeah, I think those numbers have come down a little bit. I mean, that was based on basically him continuing the way he was playing in April and May, and it just kind of went backwards on him with the hand, now the calf, and the slump. So, yeah, he might not get that kind of a contract. He's still going to get a really rich contract because he's still a really good player, and contracts are based on the precedents that came before him. And, he's not Juan Soto, but if he's half of Juan Soto, that's still almost $400 million. So I see that kind of a deal in the cards, $300 to $400 million. Maybe more, depending on what he does in October.
All right, let me give you a final question. I need to ask about the Tigers and Yankees series because Detroit has teed off on the New York bullpen over the last consecutive days, last 2 games for that matter. And they won the series over the Yankees for the first time since 2011. And then today I look at the odds, and the Yanks are a bigger favorite than the Tigers are to get to the World Series out of the American League. How does that happen?
It happens because of the betting public. That's how it happens. I mean, when you have Tarek Skubal, you should not be an underdog in any series, to be honest. I mean, if they are, it should be a slight underdog. I'm serious. In every Detroit Tigers series, they should be at worst a slight underdog, but they should probably be the favorite. They have the best pitcher on the planet. So that's all about Vegas. I will say the Yankees are good. They lead the world in home runs. They still have Max Fried and Carlos Rodon. They're just getting their butts handed to them right now by the Detroit Tigers. So I understand the betting aspect of it. I don't agree with it. Not when you have Tarek Skubal. He's the best pitcher on the planet. And all these are short series by definition. Even a best of 7 is a short series. And I would not discount the Tigers simply because of Skubal.
I'm with you. Hey, Jess, thanks so much for the time. So happy you're part of the crew. I'll talk to you next week, buddy.
See you, Lou.